Say goodbye to the grocery store. Hello to HelloFresh. Healthy ingredients, easy to follow recipes. Shipped to your door. Limited time, $30 off your first box. Free shipping. HelloFresh.com/Colin. Christine, in a couple of minutes, has some amazing sound.
I sure do.
It's called, in our business, it's called sound. It'll be people talking. Sot. Yeah, I love going behind the curtain and into the weeds. It's great TV. Okay, so I got to tell you this. So I was told, yesterday, I had a little text in the last hour of the show. Remember this, Christine? I said, oh, breaking news. I'm getting stuff. I'm getting stuff. And so it was call me from a source. And so I waited till the show was over, and because it was like the last segment, and I said on the air, I got breaking news here, breaking news. And he said, call me. It was an NFL source, and I called, and they weren't there. Oh, yeah. And then it was like, that's no great thing. And then, I didn't speak for yourself. Then I was on the way home, finally got a hold of the source, and so I couldn't get it on either show I was on yesterday. But I'm going to tell you today, I was told, in regards to Odell Beckham Jr., that the L.A. Rams vetted him, and they didn't like what they heard. Now, remember, this is the Rams, risk takers. Ndamukong Suh, Brandon Cooks, Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters. They vetted OBJ, and they didn't like what they heard. And what they heard is he's out a lot, partying, having a good time, people gassing him up, telling him you the man. Got to be the highest paid player in the league. So the Rams, and by the way, Peter Schrager came on the show yesterday and said it without saying it, the market for him is not great.
I can tell you that multiple teams did reach out to the Giants. No trade got done. It might be the one thing that no one's talking about. Everyone's saying, you can't trade Odell. You can't trade Odell. I would just say this. A guy entering the final year of his contract who has already said that he wants to be paid like a quarterback and has already said he might not take a snap the entire preseason, and a guy who's living in L.A. and enjoying living in L.A. this offseason, has not been a wallflower in L.A. this offseason, might not have the same trade value as some of these other wide receivers. I would just say what the media and the fans think of Odell Beckham's market value might not be the same around the rest of the NFL.
Okay, so about 4 hours after he said that, I got two pieces of information. One I'm going to show you at the top of the hour. The other one was this, is that the Rams vetted him, and Sean McVay loves his offense. He loves his young players. He loves the cohesiveness. He loves how they get along. He loves how they're unified. And Sean McVay, after they vetted him, doesn't want to go public, doesn't want to bash anybody. They said, let's go Brandon Cooks. Who, by the way, Brandon Cooks is not close to Odell Beckham as a talent. Odell Beckham can go deep, put him in the slot. Now, Brandon Cooks, kind of a one-trick pony. I mean, there's a reason why Brandon Cooks is on his third team on his rookie deal. I mean, I got nothing against Brandon Cooks. He's supposed to be a nice kid. He's a one-trick pony. He runs a deep threat. I actually think New England did very well in that trade yesterday. They got a first-round pick, and they gave up a guy that in a year, coming off his rookie deal, we're going to have to pay a lot of money to. And Brandon Cooks is a one-trick pony. And four really smart people, Sean Payton, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Belichick, have bailed on Brandon Cooks, all four of them, in the last year. So Odell Beckham could have been a Ram, interested, vetted him, didn't like what they hear. They took less of a player, who they're also going to have to pay within a year. Christine with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Last night, the Warriors beat the Thunder 111-107. And Paul George had some things to say about the state of the Thunder. And I want you to pay very close attention to this quote, because you seem to be under the impression that Paul George doesn't enjoy playing with Russell Westbrook and that he might leave and go to the Lakers, and that all of Westbrook's teammates just want to get away from him, right?
All right, yeah.
Okay. Tell me if you still think that after you listen to this.
Okay.
I take it on myself, Paul George said. We've got to do a better job of helping Russ. He was great. He took it to another level, a level those guys didn't have an answer for. It's frustrating when we see that and we notice that we can't help him by making shots and putting the ball in the basket. So, this is Paul George giving a lot of props to Westbrook and also acknowledging what I've been saying for years, is that they do not, the team, the franchise, the organization does not give Westbrook the tools he needs to succeed.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Durant was just a bum. Did you notice this, which is actually fascinating?
What?
The West is so good this year because Utah's been way better than we think.
Okay.
And Portland, I think, has been really, really, really good. They're only like a game out of 8th place. Do you know they could? This is very. Do you know who Oklahoma City plays in their last 3 games? They got to go on the road to play 2 playoff teams. They may end up facing Houston in their opening series.
Why are you rooting for this? You're
I am
like
not.
you're excited.
In no way am I rooting for it. I'm just saying.
Can't you just let Russ have a win here?
All I'm saying is the West is so loaded this year. 2 of their last. Now I think they get like Memphis is awful at home, but they have 2 road games for teams fighting for a playoff spot. OKC could end up with Melo, Westbrook, Paul George, and Steven Adams in the 8th seed.
I love how you're saying that as if it's this amazing dream team.
Really?
I'm sorry, but Westbrook, Paul George, yes. Carmelo and Steven Adams, great players, but not right now.
All right.
From your least favorite player to your most favorite player.
Yeah.
LeBron James and the Cavs beat the Raptors last night. Did
Yeah.
you watch that one? Or
Yeah.
you were out at dinner?
Well, I was at dinner, but I made,
Yeah.
Those East Coast games start, so I
Yeah,
can
you
get,
can get
I
a little
got
bit of it.
70% of the game done before I had to go.
Did you get some juicy stuff at dinner?
Oh, yeah. It's a great draft class, bad at wide receiver, and nobody has their draft board set. That's the big
big
stuff.
story?
Well, of the many. Yes, some of the things I'll announce in a week.
Oh, you're going to say this? You like stockpiled some information
No. I
last
take a
night.
pen and paper here. I'm doing work, yeah.
You brought a pen and paper
Yeah,
to dinner?
total nerd.
How awkward.
Writing down notes.
How did your, I don't want to call it your date, but how did this person feel about the fact that you were taking
No,
notes?
I did. Listen, I just said, listen, I'm going to pepper you for an hour with questions. This is what Broussard does when he goes out. My job is to answer questions, get answers, and then relay them to the audience.
Right.
So I sat there for an hour. Why? What? Where? Who?
Oh, you were
why?
asking why?
I asked a ton of stuff.
You were asking why.
Yes.
That's interesting. How millennial of you
Yes.
to ask why.
Why?
You shouldn't
What?
do that.
Where? Who?
Anyways, LeBron was wearing a Justin Timberlake sweatshirt as he walked out of the arena, which is important because he called Justin Timberlake a GOAT. And someone asked him, what about Michael? Meaning Michael Jordan, isn't he the GOAT? And LeBron's response to that was, there's a lot of talk about ranking who is better than Michael around here these days. Meaning, he's saying, hey, people around here, they have a lot of debate over who's better than Michael Jordan.
Right.
So he is insinuating that he is better than Michael Jordan,
Well,
which
pretty interesting.
highly questionable. Also weird to announce that yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe let someone else do that. And finally, the moment you've been waiting for.
Yes.
I told you yesterday that LeBron James and his lawyers have sent a letter to Alabama because of this program that they've started called Shop Talk. And
Right.
he's saying that it's a copyright infringement on his show with the uninterrupted, The Shop. So here is Nick Saban now reacting to this letter from LeBron.
I don't have a reaction to it. I think LeBron James is a great player. There's been at least 20 barbershop type things I've seen on TV. I didn't know anybody owned that. I didn't even know he had one. I'm sorry that anybody could be offended by something that we were just having fun with, and I enjoyed it, and we're going to continue to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I've never agreed with Nick Saban more. He's completely right on that. There's a lot of barbershop type of shows.
What did LeBron
Two
say?
different names. Here's what LeBron said.
And you guys know Nick Saban more than I do. From a media perspective, not saying you personally. From a media perspective, you guys know Nick Saban more than I do, so that's exactly what I would think he would say. But I built Uninterrupted for a reason, for us athletes to have a platform to be able to speak about, whatever we want to talk about. And I respect him as a coach, but I'd be damned if I allow someone to, use our platform and try to, do the same thing we're doing, and just think it's okay. So the lawyers figure it out.
Oh my! He's actually mad about this. But hold on, he said that he built this show so that he can give these athletes a place to talk about what they want to talk about.
Absolutely.
Is Nick Saban doing this show taking away from other athletes' abilities?
Well, I
to
didn't
just talk
go.
about what they want to talk about? No.
I didn't
you know what
go-
it's taking away from?
Yeah.
First of all, nothing. But what LeBron is thinking it might take away from is commercial prospects. It's not about the athletes. It's about money. And it's not going to. It's a college show called something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to take away anything from LeBron.
I'll make a bet in the next...
And aren't you busy? Isn't LeBron busy right now?
No,
the playoffs are starting.
McDonald's is busy. This is why they have litigation attorneys and copyright infringement attorneys.
Yeah, and LeBron's commenting on it himself.
I know, but he's not going to read
involved.
the paperwork. Watch this Alabama show disappear in about 6 weeks.
You know, it's funny, and I don't know if this is true, but I did just Google it because I wanted to watch the trailer, and I can't see it. So I don't know if they've taken it down or if there's just some sort of a problem on YouTube right now. I hope it doesn't get taken down.
Yeah, I think LeBron's going to win this. Christine with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Line News.
Let's bring in Chris Broussard, who predicted yesterday on Speak for Yourself what happened last night. So everybody's loving the Raptors, and Chris, you came out and you said, pump the brakes, here's what's going to happen and why, and it did.
Look, the Raptors, credit to them. Great season, very good team.
Nice depth.
Not a hugely talented team.
Nice depth.
Not great depth. I love these guys that they have playing on their bench. Obviously, DeRozan and Lowry are great backcourt. But they are not ready for prime time.
Thank you.
It's showing. Last night, obviously, it showed Cleveland's superior. But they've lost, 3 of their last 4?
I think it's almost 6 of the last 8 playoff teams they faced.
6 of 7, I believe, against the last playoff teams they played. And that right there is the moment is getting too big. Like, now expectations are there.
Hey, by the way, Chris, you know this because it's a long season. There are certain times, I would say 3 weeks before the trading deadline, where teams lose focus. You know, there's a lot of rumors. The last couple of weeks of the regular season, last year, Golden State started kind of cinching everything up. These games, you can say they're just NBA regular season, but you know there are statement games. That felt last night like a statement game by LeBron.
Oh, look, Cleveland just showed them, look, we still own you. And don't forget it. And if we happen to meet you in Eastern Conference Finals, which I'm now thinking it'll be Philadelphia and Cleveland. I think Philadelphia will beat Toronto, assuming they're healthy. But if we do meet you, we've beaten you 13 out of the last 17 times. Don't ever forget it. And look, this happens to teams, and it happens to individual players. When expectations are put on you, there are players and teams that when they're the underdog, when nobody's expecting anything, they'll go out and win games. They'll get you 20 points consistently and look great. But once you put the expectations on it, okay, we're thinking of you that you might get to the finals, or you're the best team in the East, or we're thinking you can be our number 1 guy and give us 20 and 6 every night. They don't want that.
Buster Douglas shocked the world as a dog. Then he got paid to be a favorite against Holyfield. Wasn't the same guy. The psychology of sports. There is a lot of golfers on Thursday that are great. Go into the Masters Sunday with a lead and Tiger chasing you. Yeah. It is a whole different sport. And I agree with you. Toronto, coffee's for closers. They're a decaf team. Decaf coffee tastes mostly like coffee. It doesn't have the same pop. Okay, so I read these quotes yesterday. Yeah, I'm going to take the emotion out of it. I'm tired of being emotional. So Scott Brooks comes out and says, James Harden, definitely MVP. Kevin Durant came out yesterday and said, nah, not close. Harden, definitely MVP. Definitely is a word like clearly. It is dismissive of whatever you say. If I say, definitely LA's way better to live in than Akron. See, I'm being dismissive of your opinion.
Of my love of Akron.
So, James, I'm getting the word now with the MVP, definitely. Being dismissive of LeBron. Let's put the blind resume up. I'm going to take the emotion out of it, go clearly data. The guy on the right is averaging more assists, more rebounds, better field goal percentage, 4 times the triple-doubles, no games missed.
Hold on. Where are the 2 most important stats?
Whoa. What stats are those?
Wins and points per game.
Oh,
you play to win the game, and the way you win the game is to have more points, but that's not up there. Why don't you throw defensive efficiency up there?
You tell me that is a definitely...
That's locker room speeches given. and praised. Well, I mean, how about practice speech? You know, I knew this was coming.
Why?
So I just have that intuition. So I came up with a blind resume of my own. Hit it, guys. Okay, the guy on the left, my left, has more assists, more rebounds per game, a better plus minus, more triple doubles, and games missed is, very close. Should he be MVP? Who's having a better year?
Blind resumes are stupid. I mean, mostly it's dumb, and it's a ploy used by TV personalities. You're a jerk.
And let me say this, too. As you may have said something about Russell Westbrook going for another triple-double season.
By the way,
he should go for it.
Oh, no, okay, let me just state this. So, I'm glad you brought that up. I wasn't going to bring it up until later. So, Westbrook is averaging, like 25 points and 10 assists, and he's averaging 9.9 rebounds. Westbrook in the last 2 games has had 31 rebounds. Dude, Monster. He wants to go triple-double average.
He does.
Do you think I'm right?
Yes.
Okay.
And you know what? I think he should. And here's why. Because the Oklahoma City Thunder over the last 2 years are 52-14 when Westbrook gets a triple-double. This year, they're 19-5 when he gets a triple-double. So their chances of winning are better when he gets a triple-double. So go for it. And I'm going to even go further. Because there's nothing wrong with wanting individual accolades. You played football and baseball, I think, in high school.
I was very much a team player.
You wanted to be all league.
Yes, I did.
So there's nothing wrong. Westbrook already sealed his place in history last year with the triple-double. To do it 2 years straight, think about that. Is phenomenal at 6'3". Now, I'll tell you this. I do think LeBron could have probably averaged a triple-double at some point in his career.
Yeah.
I think, though, before Westbrook did it, no one thought it was possible, except maybe Westbrook. Nobody thought you could do it. So I don't think LeBron really went out to do it. But I think now, my speculation, I bet you he wishes that he had gone ahead and averaged a triple-double before Westbrook. And I think what he's doing now is showing us I could average a triple-double if I wanted. And he probably could. But it's too late because Westbrook's
I don't like this idea. Let's go to something. I don't like being known as a hater of anything. I acknowledge that I said before the season I don't think the Sixers have enough three-point weapons to get to 40 wins like Vegas predicted. You knew I liked Ben Simmons, and you knew I liked Joel Embiid, but he was coming off injuries, and when bigs get hurt, they always get hurt. So I have no problem admitting their cohesion. They're a fun team to watch. But you, in the last week, are now taunting me with this. They're going to end up in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, just for the record, Joel Embiid is not going to play in the first round.
Is that definite now?
Well, it's
2 to 4 weeks. The question with Willie, he could play in the first round.
It's not definite.
Okay, let me just ask you this. If he doesn't play, you like them in the Eastern Conference Finals? You think they beat
not without him, no.
So you're going to...
I think that I would probably slightly favor Indiana. If Embiid's out the whole series, if they meet Indiana in the first round, I think I'd slightly favor Indiana. Slightly. I think Philly would have a good chance because they're better equipped now to play without Embiid. They're obviously not as good without him. But now that you have Ersan Ilyasova, Marco Bellinelli, you've got more three-point shooters. You said they didn't have it. They added it. Saric can shoot threes. Robert Covington can shoot threes.
And
they
streaky.
are long.
No. They are long. Here's the two things I'll say. They are unbelievable. Covington's long.
Yes.
Simmons is long.
Sarge is 6'10".
Yeah, they are. They remind me of the Laker team years ago that had Kobe and Gasol. And they're just long. They get every loose ball.
So even when they go small without Embiid, they still are a pretty big team.
But I think you're buying into this because you know why I think you're buying into this? Because they're fun. And you and I are old enough. We grew up when the Sixers had Dr. J. McGinnis, and we loved them. I think people are buying into the Sixers. I think if Embiid is out for 2 or 3 games, I don't think they're beating Indiana.
Well, of course, it includes Embiid. Without Embiid, no, they're not getting to the conference finals. But it's 2 reasons. One, I think, I've said it on this show, Embiid and Simmons, if healthy, will be all-time greats. I feel completely confident in saying that.
Okay, that's fair.
2, It's the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference. Who else in the East? Boston's totally banged up. And I got to be honest, I'll be surprised if Kyrie plays in the playoffs.
Hey,
I'm not. Yes, I will.
Whoa!
I said it on here a couple weeks ago that he might be out for the season. And I know it's not definite. I'm not saying it's definite. But I'm at the point where I think Boston understands we're not going to win the East. We're not going to win the finals. Let's get Kyrie healthy. That's not something somebody told me.
I appreciate
That's
burying the lead on that.
I just think that I'd be surprised if he's back in the second round if they get that far.
Wow.
So who else in the East? We've talked about Toronto.
No, I mean, listen.
Miami, Milwaukee. I think Cleveland, and I'm giving them a shot to win it all. A shot. They won't be favored, but a shot. But I'll tell you this. If they were in the West, a first-round exit wouldn't be out of the question.
Say time out. Who wins the West?
If Cleveland was in the West, a first-round exit would not be out of the question.
That's fair.
Because the West is that strong.
And the East is that weak.
And the East is that. So that's my point. Like, other than Philadelphia and Cleveland, like who?
No.
If Boston were healthy,
Boy,
it'd be
God,
different.
if the Sixers end up in the Eastern Conference Finals, do you know how hard I'm going to eat it on this show?
I think you should wear a full uniform, Dr. J knee pads, socks with tube socks.
I love
high up to your knee.
I love Dr. J.
Can we make that bet?
That if they're in the Eastern Conference Finals,
You wear a full Philadelphia 76ers uniform.
Yeah, but
knee
what's in it for-
braces. What do you want me to do? What would I need to wear? Or restaurant, whatever. Dinner. You
Okay,
call.
okay.
I'm
Goulet.
calling mine. I want the headband. I want the Converse.
For the whole
old Dr.
show?
J Converse, yes. Old Docs, Converse, all that.
Okay.
Y'all writing this down?
Okay, but what do I get?
What do you want me to do?
Like I always
Name
tell
it.
my wife, what's in it for me? This
That's
whole
what you
marriage.
always
Whatever.
tell
You
your
don't have
wife?
to come up with it right now, but come up
Okay,
with something.
I'll agree to your terms, but I gotta
you
get.
You can come up with something. It's not something crazy, but
Okay.
something comparable to what your bet is. All right.
All right.
Like maybe
You
I'll
are
wear,
really in on this Sixers
I'll
thing.
wear like a.
You got to dress like Colin for the day.
Okay,
I
that's a
think
tough
fair.
one. That's
with
a tough
no,
one.
with a sweater.
No kidding. Classy over here, guys. Classy. All right. Great stuff. By the way, top of the show, top of the hour, Joel Klatten, an amazing piece of video not released yet. That's coming up. It's the Herd.
UEFA Champions League quarterfinals. Messi and Barcelona.